Hey guys, how's it going? I hope everyone is doing well day or night whenever you tune in and see this. So this is going to be a general reading for fire sign Aries, the Ram. All right. And since we are late getting to you, dear Aries, right after I do this reading, I'll do the astrology notes video and then I will do your second video starting with you, okay, for the new set of readings. All right, so you won't have to wait this time. So I do appreciate everyone's patience and all of that. But yes, we are going to get into your reading here. I pulled all of your cards ahead of time, and all are welcome since we all have all 12 zodiac signs through each individual of our birth charts. All right, you have Aries somewhere in your chart. So even if you're not a sun sign Aries, moon sign Aries, or you have your moon in Aries, there still may be a message here for you about your individual Aries energy. All right. So this reading is general and it can cover things like love, work, friends, family, health, money, etc. So always take it how it resonates for you. And it is also a timeless reading. So that means for some people, it could resonate as an example 6 months in the past or 6 months in the future, a year in the past, a year in the future. All right. So always keep that in mind as well. So you could watch this video, even though the original time frame in the title is from February 18th to March 18th. It may even take longer to show up in the future or go more into the past. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into your reading. Also wanted to say that if you're new, right, welcome. And even if you're not new and you're coming back, welcome back. I appreciate everybody's energy and your views here. And I also take one photo of all of the cards at the end, and we'll be posting it after the live is done on my Facebook page in case you want to see the cards more up close in detail. So if that's something that interests you, all you have to do is click in the description box below and follow the instructions there on how to get to my Facebook page and check out the photo of the cards if that's something that you want. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm just going to set my timer there, just rough time estimate. All right, since time is fluid and relative, what is time, right? But yes, let's go ahead and start off with a quick little sound bell here. Make sure I'm having no dog and cat hair in there so it doesn't go in my face. So this is for general grounding for the reading and healing for the reading for myself and for you guys. So just be aware it does get a little loud if you're sensitive to that or listening with headphones. So if you want to, you can take a deep breath in and out whenever, or you can just listen as well. All right. All right, Aries. Let's go ahead and I'll put this over here just because we have a lot already on the table. Okay, so I also put in the title that you have 7 major arcana showing up here in your reading. So that does speak of a significant amount of change coming up for you or already against happened to, for some, start already in the past. And what is the past, right? It'll be different for everybody. It could be a couple of days ago, hours, right? Weeks, months, even years. Okay, so always keep that in mind. But when we're talking about the major arcana, let's go ahead and call out the other zodiac signs that I see here in your reading, if that's of particular interest for you. All right, for some, maybe you don't care, but I just like to get it over with while I'm thinking about it, okay? So we do have some Libra energy here. We have Leo energy. We have 2 Cancer energies, and it's a repeating card. We'll get into that later. We have some Aquarius energy, we have some Scorpio energy, and we have some Gemini energy. Is that all of them? Let me see. So I said 7, right? So Libra, Leo, Cancer twice, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Gemini. Yes, okay. So that means for some of you guys, you could be dealing with one of those signs if it's one other person that you're mainly dealing with, or it could be multiple people that you're dealing with and they are some of those signs, or you could have a lot of those signs, some of those signs, right, predominantly in your own birth chart or the other person or multiple people, or again, maybe it means nothing to you at all. It could have something to do with the astrology or the collective unconscious at this time as well. So just wanted to go ahead and mention that. Now, as we go through your reading, I just have to kind of say this, even though if you've seen me before, you know the drill. It's just for the new people, just in case, okay? So I'm using 2 different decks here. So we're going to start in the reading center, your first 9 cards, and then we'll work outwards to your tarot confirmation cards, and then we'll also talk about what's on the top and the bottom of each of your decks to get even more insight. And then at the very end, we have a couple of oracle cards for you here as well. So let's go ahead and call out your cards in order here and then get started. So you have the Sun in the right side up position, the 3 of Staves, also known as 3 of Wands, right side up. You have the 5 of Cups right side up, the Star right side up, the Chariot in the reverse position, the Ace of Swords. Sorry, one second. Guys, no. Leave Nefertiti alone. No, not right now. Not ever, actually. Sorry. Let me go back. So where are we at? Yes, I was saying you have the Ace of Sacred Circles in the reverse position, also known as Ace of Pentacles in reverse. You have Prince of Staves or Prince of Wands right side up. You have the Judgment card in the reverse position, and then you have 8 of Cups right side up. All right. So as a rough estimate, okay, each row here in the center is going to correspond to a time frame, right? But what is time, right? I said it's fluid and relative, so it will be different for everybody. But this first row here is going to be energy starting around February 18th and going through the end of February till about February 28th. The second row here could be energy from March 1st through March 9th, okay, as an estimate. And then your last row here is could be energy around March 9th through March 18th or so, right? It could be a little bit before, it could be a little bit after, right? It's different for everyone. Since it's a general reading for multiple people, I'm just going to take a sip of coffee here, sorry. So yeah, I do apologize again for the lateness of your guys' video, but I wanted to put it up anyway, right? Of course. And also, I do have some exciting stuff I will be talking about in the future, but I can't share with you guys just yet. But I actually was out of town and I brought my tarot cards and my computer and all my stuff, and I was sitting down and getting ready. And then I realized I didn't have my webcam, the internet wasn't acting right, and the people I was staying with were being really loud at the time. So I was like, I'm going to wait, you know? So everything in its divine timing, as they say. All right, let's go ahead and get into it here. So in this first row here, Aries, always in particular for most of the readings that I do, you can feel energy from the recent past more in the beginning, but of course you can feel it throughout in different places, okay? And again, what is the recent past will be different for everybody. But we start off with the brightest card in the tarot here, the Sun in the right side up position. So what a beautiful energy to start your reading with, okay? And this could be you here, Aries. It could be somebody you're dealing with or multiple people dealing with your general environment situation. Okay, this is some Leo energy. I wasn't saying that this is your card or anything, but I was saying that this is the first card of your reading, right? And so here when we have the Sun card energy in the right side up position, it's all about you know, this youthful energy, this passion, this creativity, abundance, right, for momentum, progress, but it's also mainly about the Sun representing enlightenment, spiritual downloads, revelations, aha moments. Oh, now I finally get it or understand something, okay, with the Sun in the right side up position. So really nice energy here to start off your reading. And like I said, it could be you, Aries, or it could be somebody around you influencing you in a positive way. I'll leave that up to you to figure out how it resonates, right? But your second card here, as we go forward into your reading, is the 3 of Staves, also known as the 3 of Wands in the right side up position. And this is also really nice energy. This is an energy of somebody now coming back out into circulation in some way. They are, with the Nile River in the background, the water representing our emotions in the tarot, learning to deal with their emotions in a positive way, and they're about to resurface in a social scene in some ways. You see this Egyptian couple getting off of this fancy boat off the Nile River, and now they're going to a party, right? So it is about growth, and it's about progress and forward momentum moving forward, okay? And there is, of course, abundance here. So when we talk about abundance, it isn't just money. It could, of course, be money, right? Everyone's watching for different reasons, but abundance isn't just about money or wealth. It's also about whatever you want to manifest in your world. So it's a 3 of staves or 3 of wands. It's not a 10, right? But it is like, okay, really making some good progress here with whatever it is you want to move forward. All right. Now, as we come to your third card, there is a little bit of like an energetic blockage or just some stagnant energy, which happens in every reading. Often it happens several different times, right? But you still have Cleo. You still have really good cards and other stuff going on, so I wouldn't get too down about it, okay? But here, and this could have been towards the end of February or for some, or even that first week of March, right? We have the 5 of Cups in the right side up position. So this is an energy of possibly somebody here, if it's not you yourself, Aries, was perhaps only, focusing on the negative or the stuff that had gone wrong at that time, right? But not realizing if they just suddenly change their perspective or their view. If he turns around, this king who's crying over the spilled wine, and he sees that there's still 2 people over here that have a full glass of wine that they could share with him, right? They could help him with things, better people that he could vibe with if he just suddenly changed his perspective a little bit here. So it's not, like I said, the end of the world. It could just be an energetic blockage or a little bit of stagnant energy. But this is actually where my spirit guides wanted me to talk to you about what's on the top and the bottom of your deck here to get even more insight about maybe why this 5 of Cups showed up here. So what we have is these 2 cards represent energy from the way, way back past, okay? So again, that will be different for everybody. It could be a couple of days ago, weeks, months, years, hours, what have you, okay? But what we have is the King of Staves in the right side up position on the top, and the Justice card in the reverse position on the bottom, and a little bit Libra energy, right? So, what we kind of have going on here is in the way, way back past, somebody felt very confident, really supported. They felt a lot of passion and creativity and courage with the lines here at the bottom of this king, right? But it was for momentum, it was progress, all of this really nice energy. And then when the Justice card shows up in the reverse position, it could be that something was then triggered for you or another person, or multiple people, general environment situation, where there was a lack of balance with something. Normally when the Justice card is right side up, it would be all about balance between light and dark, positive and negative, right? The duality that is within all things, okay? But it also could be about legal matters. It could be about when we talk about justice, or we talk about even the Judgment card, which did show up for you later. We'll talk about later. It talks about morality. It talks about things being weighed and judged, and all of those things. So it could be that there was something that happened here in the way of back past that kind of gave someone pause to be a little bit mentally confused about something too, because normally when Lady Justice is right side up, sometimes you see her holding the balance scales in one hand and the sword in the other, right? But she's holding the sword up high normally. Here it's resting, on her lap. But when it's in the reverse position, that talks about, and the swords in tarot talk about our mental, right, our crown chakra. And so when we talk about it being in the reverse position, it would be mental confusion, anxiety, worry around possibly justice themes, right? So maybe there was a judgment, or that's not the right word because that's your other card later. Maybe there was something where you felt like somebody's actions weren't justified, or somebody didn't feel like your actions were justified, or multiple people's actions weren't justified, okay? But there is like a confusion here about some type of verdict perhaps, or a choice that was made, all right? So this could be why this 5 of Cups shows up towards that end of February, first week or so of March, okay, where somebody is just focusing on negative and what's gone wrong and the mental confusion, anxiety, worry, and that imbalance, right? Because like I said, there's light and balance in everything, positive, negative, and everything. So if this guy just turned around, he could see that there's still positive people and situations that want to help him and give him more wine since his spilled over, okay? But we'll know more as we go throughout the reading. But like I said, it's nothing to worry about too much because in all readings, there's usually one or two couple of energetic blockages or something going on, all right? So moving forward though, in your second row, this is energy around, right? Could be a little bit before, a little bit after March 1st through March 9th. And here we have the star card in the right side of position. This is Aquarius energy here. Okay, and what we have is this beautiful creativity, this hope and inspiration for the future. This Native American woman is looking up at the stars above her, right? She's looking to the future and what it may hold in a positive way. She's also taking these two shells here and dipping them into the water and doing some alchemy, some magic, right? But she is also working with the water. There's the ocean all the way behind her, and here one of her feet or legs, right, is in this little pond. So she has one on land, one on water, very similar to the Temperance card if you're familiar with tarot. So she's learning to balance, right, the 3D world where we pay our bills and have responsibilities, right? As an example, we could say that's the land, and then as an example, we say the water is the unconscious, dreams, magic, and the 5D. Okay, so it's like balancing between those two and also having this hope and inspiration for the future. Now, this is really great to see here, Aries, especially following that 5 of Cups that you had before. So you can see that this was maybe just for a little bit of time, but then here there is more hope and inspiration for the future, creativity, balancing the emotions in a positive way, and working through something with the water and the emotions. Okay. All right, now moving forward, and here we have some Cancer energy coming up, right? We're speaking of water, right? Cancer is a water sign. Okay, we do have the Chariot in the reverse position. So this kind of speaks of another bit of energetic blockage or just stagnant energy in some way, as far as perhaps somebody's lack of balance between the masculine and feminine energies that we all have inside of us, okay? Because here, if the Chariot was in the right side up position, that's what these two lions represent, okay? But it's in the reverse. Normally, he's galloping forward on his chariot through some water. Again, water being emotions, Cancer being a water sign, right? But here, it's a slowing down. This is like a fast, fast energy. Yes, let's go forward. Positive energy, momentum, progress. Here it's like, wait, let's stop. Everything stops, okay? Everything slows down. It's harder to go forward a little bit. And there's just a little bit of like fog here, okay? Now, when we go forward into your 6th tarot card here, the last one in the second row, it's like that energy of, you know, you started off in this row with the star, right? Really good positive energy. And then all of a sudden, we have something happen with the Chariot, everything's slowing down and stopping for some reason here. And then we also have, sorry, I'm distracted. My cat is trying to eat something in the background. You better not. Neffy. Shh. Nefertiti. Shh. Don't you do it. Okay. Sorry, guys. So what was I saying? Yes. So we go from the Chariot in the reverse position to now the Ace of Sacred Circles or Ace of Pentacles in the reverse position. And normally when anytime you see aces in their right side up, it's all about new beginnings. So when it shows up in the reverse position, there could be a hesitancy around an ending and a new beginning here. Okay, but it also could have something to do with somebody not embracing or feeling confident in some way with their natural gifts or abilities, okay, or they're not feeling all the way in their power here about something, all right, because normally in this card, when it's right side up, really small here, there's a buffalo, which is sacred to the Native American culture, but when we think about a buffalo just in the basic terms, it's a big ass animal, right? They take up space, they represent power and raw energy and many other things that I can't speak of right now, because I know that Native Americans believe that the brown buffalo means one thing, the white buffalo means another. The white is supposed to be really special because it doesn't always come out, right? But when we're just talking about the shape of the animal and how much space it takes up, when it's in the reverse position, it could be that you here, Aries, towards the end of that first week of March, were not feeling all the way in your power, or the other person was not feeling that way, or multiple people weren't feeling that way. General environment astrology, okay? Or it could just be that hesitancy or a little bit of not quite ready for some new beginning that was just around the corner. So it's like putting on the brakes, okay? Especially when it's following the chariot in reverse. It's like somebody's still possibly trying to balance their masculine and feminine sides inside of them, or just some stagnant energy in general, and trying to figure out how they can get back their power and, step into all of their innate gifts and abilities, and how they can reverse this, how they can turn around, this Ace of Sacred Circles or Ace of Pentacles in reverse, and then suddenly become more abundant with their money, with their health, with their love, whatever they want to manifest in their life. But here, there's still a little bit of this blockage, okay? But as we go forward, your next card shows that that energy does kind of die down and go away, because then we have the Prince of Staves, or also known as Prince of Wands, in the right side up position. And now we're in your third row here. So energy around March 9th through March 9th through March 18th or so. Again, could be a little bit before, a little bit after. But here he represents this fresh, young energy, right? He's a prince. He's not a king yet. He's open to learning new things. He's mastering how to be a good leader at some point, right? To take on the responsibilities of being a leader or a leadership role, okay? But also he's learning to balance his emotions, again, with the water and the Nile River in the background behind this Egyptian prince, okay? To channel it into something positive and use it in a good, balanced way moving forward, okay? So here, again, now we finally have in that, middle of March, that third row, March 9th through the 18th or so, their energy is now picking up again. It's going faster. It's letting go of the stagnant energy. It's moving forward, and there's progress again. So, yay. All right. Okay. Now, moving forward here, and I can't remember what other sign had this card, maybe not in the same position, but somewhere. Maybe it was Taurus or Gemini. I can't remember. I have to go back and check the photos, but it doesn't matter. It's just interesting sometimes when certain cards show up again, even though I shuffle a lot and cut the deck and do all this stuff. If you've watched me before for a long time, you know that I do that. So anyway, your next card is the Judgment card in that reverse position. And just because it's a reversal doesn't mean that it's necessarily bad. There's two different ways this energy can show up or go down, right? Since it is a general reading for multiple people. For some people, right, it's they've decided that they don't want to resurrect something. They don't want to revisit something. They don't want to try again with something, right? It could be a lot of different things, a person, an energy, a philosophy, a way of life, viewpoint, right? Because normally when the Judgment card is in the right side up position, it speaks of that traditional kind of scene or reading from the Bible, right? Is that if you are a good person and things are weighed correctly, right? Your morals that we were talking about earlier with your Justice card energy, if they're weighed correctly, then you will be brought out of your grave. You'll be given life eternal in heaven thereafter, right? So that's normally what the Judgment card would be if it's in the right side up position. Okay, so that would be revisiting something, renewing something, re-questioning something, restarting something. But here in the reverse position, the way it showed up for you, it could be that you or another person or most people decided, I don't want to revisit that. I don't want to resurrect it, restart it. No, I'm done with that. Okay, so that could be for some. Now, for the other group of you, if that's not how you are feeling it, right? It could be that there was a judgment or justice that didn't go in your favor, when we spoke of the Justice card over here, being that possibly somebody's actions weren't justified, which led to mental confusion, anxiety, or worry on somebody's party, right? Vice versa, whoever it was. But here it could also be a little bit of the same thing for some people, where the judgment that was passed, right? When we think of a final judgment from a judge, right? If it didn't, if that final ruling, that final choice or decision to revisit something, if that didn't resonate, not resonate, if that's not what happened for you, or if that's not what you wanted to happen for you or the other person or multiple people, of course, that could be why the judgment card is in the reverse position, because it didn't make you happy or them happy or multiple people happy. Okay. But in some ways, if you fell in the first group of what I said about this card, about that you don't want to revisit something, there's positive and negative in every side. The negative part of this card in this deck talks about a self-destructive energy if the judgment didn't go in your favor or their favor, everyone's favor, right? So you see this woman at the top and she's punching the mirror. She's punching herself. So here it could also be for some that you're stopping any self-destructive energy that you used to do, or the other person in a situation around some type of judgment, final decision, final ruling on something. Okay, but we'll know a little bit more in a moment, because I have your what's on the top and the bottom of the other deck here to get even more insight about why we read this thing out. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right. So again, when we talk about what's on the top and the bottom, this is energy from the way, way back past, whatever that means for you. Okay. So what we have here is in the way, way back past, and we'll talk about it in relation to the judgment in reverse, right? The 5 of Wands on the right side up position, and then the 3 of Wands in the reverse position. Okay. And I just realized you actually have 2 repeating cards. So that's interesting. We'll talk about that in a moment. I don't know why it didn't occur to me until now. Because, in this other deck, they call them staves, and this one they call them wands, and I just didn't catch it at the moment. Okay. So anytime there is repeating cards, whether one is in past and one is in future, or even recent past, or future, or past, whatever you want to call it, whether one is reverse and one is right side up, it is a particular message from Spirit that they want you to pay closer attention to that card or that energy. There's a lesson there, okay? Because usually there's 1 in 72 chances that it will come out again, right? Because there's 72 cards usually in every tarot deck. So since we're talking about it, I'll just show you them together there, okay, for a moment. But we'll go back to it in a second. So first, let's talk about the 5 of Wands, which was on the top of your deck, okay, for energy from the way, way back past. So here, this is one of my favorite cards, okay, because it talks about relying on your support system, whatever that is, friends, family, mental health care worker, etc., okay, to help come in and suddenly say, you're taking something too seriously. I'm going to come in and say, don't use the pen, use the pencil with the eraser. Let's make a couple of different options. Let's make option A, B, C, D, E, and F. Shh. Okay. Right? Let's come in and help you practice and plan and have a little bit more looser energy with something that you're working on, or your future in general. Because here it looks like 5 guys fighting, but they're actually playing and practicing and preparing for war, right? So they're practicing defending themselves, right? Or whatever it is, because this is like a medieval scene here, okay? Or they're soldiers in some way. So that's why I say defending. It doesn't always have to be defending, but also when we talk about wands, just like swords, can be a weapon or a tool. So it does kind of talk about defenses in some way. But here it's in the positive position from the way, way back past. So it's again, very supportive energy, and taking something not as seriously and relying on the support system, the friends, family, mental health care worker, etc., to make those different options. Okay, so that was part of that past energy. Now here we also had what was on the bottom of your deck from the way, way back past is the 3 of Wands in the reverse. So it's like all of a sudden there is an energetic blockage or some stagnant energy where all that hard work you were doing and that positive energy and progress that either you here, Aries, were doing or the other person or multiple people, general environment, right? Here it stops, okay? Because there's an energetic blockage or some stagnant energy. So all of a sudden, somebody still needs to deal with their emotions here. Their emotions are clouding their judgment to use their logical mind in some way, okay? Because here we also have water in the card. So I'll show you this card just for a second with its matching card, right? It's a repeating card, okay? So one is more future, current, present energies towards the end of February on this side, and then this one is from the way back past. One is right side up and one is reverse. So you can see even in just these two cards, there is progress. So in the past, there was a blockage, and in the future, there's not, right? But basically here, with this energetic blockage in the way back past, somebody's still needing to figure out their emotions. They can't go to the party yet. They can't resurface socially. They can't have growth and abundance and move forward until they do that, all right? So again, just want to show it to you all together with the Judgment card in the reverse position, because that's why we're talking about it, right? And so it's like on one hand, somebody was relying on their support system, they were practicing and planning for the future, but then somebody's emotions here came in and stopped that growth and the progress in some way. Now, when we think of the Judgment card, I don't know for sure, but it looks like she's underwater, right? Everything is blue, okay? It's kind of more of an abstract card or artist depiction here, right? But I would say maybe she looks like she's underwater because her dress is flowing, right? And there's all these different lighting casts like you might see if you're underwater as it breaks through, kind of. Okay, so maybe she is underwater. Maybe this is all about emotions. So again, when both of the water cards are in the reverse position, it's like someone isn't dealing with their emotions around a final judgment or call or choice or decision here, okay? But it doesn't mean, again, that it's like the end of the world or anything like that, okay? Because I do believe that things happen for a reason, even if we don't know that at the time. Usually with some time to process things, you can find at least hopefully one positive thing there or lesson learned, all right? But let's keep going forward. So here we come to your 9th card here, Aries, and this is the 8 of Cups in the right side up position. So I don't view the 8 of Cups as a positive or negative card, even though it has both, right? Like every card. I just see it as someone needs to take a break. And when we talk about all the emotions in the water, the cups in the tarot also represent emotions. So here, someone is going off to take a break to figure out what their emotions mean to them, what the other person's emotions mean to them, or multiple people's emotions mean to them, right? But you see this person in this kind of cloak here, right? And we can't see their face. So they're almost going off to like this Stonehenge like thing in the background, okay? And they have the cups here that they're trying to figure out. The cups are not reversed. The card is right side up. The cups haven't fallen over. But it's like until they know themselves or process these things, they're going to take a break. So it could be you're taking a break, right, around the middle of March or so, or even the first week or two, depending on how the energy affects you, right? Or even the whole month of March, who knows, right? But somebody's going to take a break here to figure out what they want to do next and kind of learn something about themselves and also about the other person or multiple people. Okay, so I don't, again, see it as a bad thing. Now, what's really interesting to note here, too, because when we're talking about this last row horizontally, right, and today's the 17th, okay, when I'm filming this, tomorrow, tonight, right, we're going into the full moon of Virgo, okay? So usually the energy is the highest the day before, the day of, and the day after, but again, it'll be different for everybody. Here, the moon is not full in this depiction of the card. It actually looks like a new moon, okay? But it could be that you are going to take a break from now, whatever now means for you, until the next new moon, or it could have something to just do with the moon in general. Okay, so even though it's a new moon right here, or crescent moon, when we said that that full moon is following or happening in that third row, it could just have something to do with like, oh my gosh, all these emotions going on, right? It could be you, could be two parties, could be multiple parties, multiple people. Motion, whatever's going on is during any full moon, okay, not just because it's in Virgo, right? But also because we're in Pisces season. We currently have three planets in Pisces, a lot of Neptune energy. So it could just be like it's too much for someone here. And so they're like, I'm going to just take a break and let things calm down and figure out what all these emotions mean to me. Okay, so that's another way to look at this. Awesome. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get into your tarot confirmation cards here. I'll go ahead and call them out and then we'll go in order. So we have the Chariot in the right side up position here. We have the Lovers in the reverse position. We have the Knight of Pentacles in the right side up position. And we have the Four of Cups in the right side up position. So the first two tarot confirmation cards, I read them as recent past energy, and then the last two are more future current energies. Okay. And when we get to the last two, and I always try to remember to say this, is that nothing is set in stone. You always have free will, right? Anytime you get a reading, it's just one way that it could go down, and it could just be some reminders about something going forward. Okay, so never think like it has to go exactly the way that the cards come out per se. Okay, so starting with your first card, and this is one of your other repeating cards, okay, from the recent past. Here we have the Chariot now in the recent past in the right side up position. Remember, in your second row here, right in the center, you had the Chariot in the reverse position. Okay, so again, repeating card. 1 in 72 chances that it's going to come out again, okay, because there's 72 cards in each tarot deck, okay, unless otherwise stated. So one, right, is from the recent past, and one is more future, current, present energies, right? One is right side up and one is reversed. That doesn't necessarily matter, okay, but it is a particular message from Spirit to pay closer attention when it shows up twice, all right? So let's just talk about what the card means, right, since we're on this one, what it means in the right side up position in this recent past energy. So here we have this guy, right, in his chariot, and it's being pulled instead of by two lions this time, they're two sphinxes, okay? And so they again represent that positive and negative energy, or even the masculine and feminine energy. Not saying that one is masculine energy is necessarily negative, right? Because everything has duality. It's just really a note or a metaphor about duality. We all have positive and negative in our inside ourselves at different times of our life, right? More predominantly. And then we all have positive, I just said that. We all have masculine and feminine energy inside of us. The goal is to try to get it as balanced as possible, right? So here when we show up with this Cancer energy that's in this Chariot card, okay, he is for momentum, he is progress, right? He's galloping forward. The card is right side up. So he is some kind of man of importance. He doesn't necessarily have a crown on, right? He's not necessarily a king, but he's got money to at least have this chariot, right? And we do see the kind of castle kingdom in the background, all right? So it could speak of some type of leadership role, or just, again, in the recent past here, you were more in your own power, or the other person was, or multiple people, general environment situation, or just in general, there was more progress in some area of your life or their life, or the balance between the masculine and feminine was stronger or clearer, set balance there, boundaries too, okay? So when this card comes in here, and it is confirming because it's a confirmation card, the sun right side up, the star right side up, and also the Prince of Staves in the right side up position here, okay? So pretty much it was a catalyst for all three of these cards because they all came out in a nice positive alignment here. So we'll go one by one, but here with the Chariot confirming the sun, it's like, okay, yes, if there was towards the end of February, for some, or even first week or so of March, some type of enlightenment, spiritual download, aha moment, I finally understand something, any of those things, right? Or if there was more passion and creativity and youthful energy as well, it's like, go with that energy. The chariot is confirming it in a positive way. Yes, excuse me, keep going forward, keep balancing the masculine and feminine energies, and learning to also, not in this deck, right? There is a little bit of water all the way behind them, if you can see by the wheel here, like really small, there's some water there. Because in other decks you see, right, like in this one that I showed you earlier, he's going through the water splashing up behind him. So here it is also about channeling the emotions in a positive way to keep moving forward. So that's beautiful, right? And then when this card comes in, it also confirms the star card right side up. It's like, yes, to have more hope and inspiration and creativity for the future, like this woman in the star card. Again, work with the emotions in a positive way, okay? And also having balance in other areas of life, right? We said masculine, feminine, positive and negative, right? But also the 3D and the 5D, the physical world that we live in, right? And then also this spiritual unconscious world that is there as well. All right, and then when the chariot right side up is confirming the Prince of Staves right side up, same deal, right, with the water, the Nile River. He's learning all these new things about how to be a leader. Okay, he's not a king yet, but he's on his way. Okay, he's learning to be confident. He's learning to have responsibility, what a king will need to do. Okay, that people look up to him and come to him for advice, and all sorts of things, right? But also being grounded to connect enough with the people and remember what it's like to be one of the smaller people or not be in a higher position of authority here. So really nice energy though. All right, now moving forward, we get to your second confirmation card, which is the Lovers in reverse. First thing I'm going to say, right, is that, well, not first thing, but second thing, I guess. The first thing I would say is that this is also energy from the recent past. Here, we're talking about some type of union, okay? And it could be multiple unions or just one. That in the recent past, and whatever that means for you, right? It's different for everyone. A couple days ago, months, years, weeks, etc. It used to be divinely guided. It used to be an equal give and take energy. It used to be about higher vibrational frequencies where you and the other person or other party was bringing the best out in each other, okay? And it could be a romantic union, a work partnership, excuse me, a union with friends and family, or a union of even different parts of yourself, okay? But here, it shows up in the reverse position from the recent past. So perhaps this union changed in some way where somebody was giving too much or someone wasn't giving enough, or there just wasn't enough balance between the masculine and feminine energies that we all have inside of us, because that's also showing up here when it would be right side up, but it's reversed, okay? And this is also Gemini energy, forgot to mention, right? But it's really about this union maybe, or this blending of the masculine and the feminine is having a harder time here from the recent past. And when it's showing up here and it is confirming the Three of Staves right side up, the Chariot in reverse, and the Judgment card in reverse, okay? It's basically telling us that the reason why these two are in the reverse position, they need to figure out their emotions, right? Work on the masculine and feminine energies, all those things, okay, is because of this union possibly from the recent past, still triggering you, still triggering them, or the other person and the multiple people, okay? But we'll go one by one here real quickly. So with the first one, this Lover's card in the reverse position was actually a catalyst, because even though it was reversed, maybe it challenged someone to work on those issues, to work on a partnership. in some way to get it back on track, to have a more equal give and take with that partnership. Again, whether it's romantic, platonic, or even different parts of yourself or work partnership, what have you, okay, because they said, okay, I'm gonna deal with those emotions, and then I'm gonna start resurfacing and going out together and enjoying each other again, or the partnership in general. Okay, so here it kind of was really nice catalyst energy. I think I put this the wrong way. It's supposed to go like that. Yeah. So then when the Lovers in reverse is confirming the Chariot in reverse, right? It's like the reason why there was a little bit of that stagnant energy, possibly in the first week or two of March, okay, and having something out of balance with the emotions as far as the masculine and feminine is because in the recent past there was possibly this union that wasn't in its highly vibrational phase anymore, and that triggered you or triggered the other person or triggered multiple people, that maybe they thought it was going to happen again, or it was just something that they needed to learn or process in some way, or you did, okay? And then when this Lovers in reverse is confirming the Judgment in reverse, it's like when we talk about the two sides of the Judgment in reverse, if it's about one side not wanting to start something from the past, revisit, reamp it, resurrect it, right? It could be because that union, if we're talking about a choice or decision or final ruling, if it was around a union, a work partnership, romantic union, friends or family, union, different parts of yourself, okay? If it was around that, it could be that because it wasn't working in the recent past, this person here said, I'm not going to restart it, I'm not going to revamp it, I'm not going to revisit it, I'm not going to resurrect it, okay? And then on the other side of the Judgment card, right, if it was about more of somebody saying, I didn't like the final ruling, I didn't like the final choice or decision that somebody made, if it was you here, Aries, another person or multiple people, but I'm not going to deal with those emotions, even if they're uncomfortable around this choice or decision or final ruling. That could also be echoing the Lovers in the reverse position about how it could affect you in the future if you keep doing that, right? Then it could be, even though this is recent past, it could also be warning you that in the future, if you keep doing that, that it will affect all of your relationships in the future too. So kind of work through those emotions, even if they're not all the way comfortable, right? Okay, now going forward, now we're going to talk about your third and fourth tarot confirmation card, and this is energy again from the more recent future possibilities, probabilities. All right, so we start off here with your Knight of Pentacles in the right side of position is your third card, okay? And this is beautiful to see because knights, just like princes, okay, are all about learning new things. Okay, here he is on his horse. He looks really funny. He's looking back and he's like, hey man, look at my pentacle. Okay, look, I've got an offer. I've got a medium-sized offer. He's not a page. Normally you would go page, knight, or prince, and then king. He's like, it's not the biggest offer. It's not the biggest communication per se, but he's got something, okay? So he's more moving forward, but he's looking back a little bit to show off kind of what he has to someone. So when we see the Knight of Pentacles in the right side up position, it can be that you here, Aries, gave a small, or not small, sorry, you gave a medium-sized offer to somebody, or a communication or opportunity to somebody, or somebody gave you a medium-sized offer or communication or opportunity to you, okay? And it's like really going over those things about, you know, what that may mean for you or for the other person or multiple people, okay? But it is also like for momentum and progress, right? Because I said he is on his horse and he's moving forward. Now the pentacles in the tarot do represent money and wealth, okay? But again, is abundance, all forms of abundance are not just money and wealth. It's whatever you want to manifest or working towards in your life at this time, okay? So when this comes in here in the more future or current energies, possibly this hasn't happened yet for some, right? It is confirming, though, the Five of Cups in reverse, the Ace of Sacred Circles or Ace of Pentacles in reverse, and the Eight of Cups right side up here, okay? So we'll just go one by one. It could be saying that this medium-sized opportunity or offer communication that you give or someone gives to you, possibly right in the future, it could be that it's not well received or it's not the right time, or someone's only focusing on how the offer or communication could go wrong, right? They're only focusing on possibly the negative side of it and not seeing that they should kind of remain both not overly optimistic and not completely bitter or negative, right? Just being like, it could go two different ways, and I don't know exactly how it's going to go down. So it's like kind of telling you or telling the other person or general environment, yes, right on the bell there, to try to remain more in a neutral frequency about this offer of communication that may come in or that you are going to give to somebody else, okay? Now, when it comes in here and confirms the Ace of Sacred Circles in reverse, it could be that somebody is scared or hesitant, like I said before, because aces normally, when they're right side up, mean endings and new beginnings. So it could be the reason why maybe it's not the right time for someone here, or they're feeling nervous about how it could go wrong, or you're feeling nervous about how it could go wrong. It could just be because there's a hesitancy around this change. Anytime we talk about endings and new beginnings, it's change. It could be a good change, it could be a bad change, right? We don't know. But it could be, this is why the Ace of Sacred Circles or Ace of Pentacles is in the reverse position. It could also be that if you give this offer or communication or opportunity to someone, or someone gives it to you, maybe it makes them feel really vulnerable. Maybe it makes you feel really vulnerable, and then that makes the continuation of the buffalo in reverse here really small on the bottom of this card, about somebody shrinking in their power, where they're like, I'm not a big buffalo, I'm a small little baby buffalo. But you want to step into your power, you want to be confident. You're not overly confident or cocky per se, but you want to like feel good about yourself, feel good about your decisions, feel good about an offer or communication or opportunity coming in or going out, right? But that just could be why that card was in the reverse position there too. And then when we have this Knight of Pentacles coming in here and confirming the Eight of Cups right side up, right? It could be that this offer is like overwhelming to someone, overwhelming to you, to the other person, or multiple people, or both people, right? All the people. And so it brings up a lot of emotions, and it could be why somebody's going to possibly take a break here, or they already did take a break to kind of process what this medium-sized offer, communication, or opportunity means. And when I say medium, I already explained kind of the page, knight, or prince, and then king kind of example, right? But medium-sized opportunity as an example could be that in the past, if you've already dealt with this person or this opportunity or energy, right? It also could just be an energy, that if it was a page or a small opportunity or communication, that would be like a text message or an email. And then since this is like a medium, since it's a knight or a prince, it could be the next level up, right? Of being like, excuse me, now I'm going to call that person. Now I'm going to meet them in person, or whatever the next step is. That's just an example when we say, or when I say medium. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind, whatever that means for you, right? Now, your last tarot confirmation card, your second one in the future, current, present energies, possibilities, probabilities, right? We have the Four of Cups in the right side up position here. Okay, so again, when we're talking about cups, it's the emotions in the tarot, just like the water. So it's saying here that in the future, there's a couple different ways that this can go down, right? But it's like, here somebody is not super thrilled or happy when they're looking at these three cups. When they're looking at what's presently being offered so far, or what's in their life so far. They're feeling very blah about it, right? Like, I don't really like what's in these cups. I don't feel like drinking what's in these cups, right? I don't like these emotions per se. They're just kind of whatever. Okay, that is the woman's posture and what she's thinking. But here we have at the top of the card the hand of the divine coming in saying, much like the Five of Cups, because we go from 4 to 5, right? If they change their perspective, if he turns around, he will see there's still positive situations and people and circumstances. There's still wine to be drunk, right? If he turns around. Here with this one, if this person remains patient or also looks up, change their perspective, they'll see the hand of the divine coming in with better opportunities, better people, circumstances, better emotions, and better things for them to drink, right? Okay, so here it's all about, having perspective. The right perspective is really important. So this fourth tarot confirmation card, it's going to confirm the same cards we just did, but maybe a little bit differently. So we kind of already said what it would be like with the Five of Cups, okay? And then it's also confirming the Ace of Sacred Circles in reverse and the other Cups card, the Eight of Cups right side up. So I'll show you them all together here for a second. Okay. And then we'll go one by one. Since we already did the other one, we'll talk about this one here. So when the Four of Cups comes in here and is confirming the Ace of Sacred Circles or Ace of Pentacles in reverse, this is basically saying if somebody is hesitant about ending in a new beginning or about stepping into their power in some way or having more abundance, money, luck on their side, whatever it is they want to manifest in their life, if there's a hesitancy there or it wasn't just the right time before, okay, again, it's all about perspective. So being a little bit more patient, being clear too. The thing about the cups, since they represent our emotions, normally, not necessarily with this card, and if you've seen me before, you know, and I've said this many times, right, that the cups are like, what makes me emotionally happy? What makes me emotionally fulfilled? What makes me emotionally content? What are my emotional boundaries? What are my emotional deal breakers? It's like all of those things because we're talking about the emotions, okay? So here, even though she's not happy with what is currently being presented, if she just remains patient and changes her perspective a little bit, she can have all those things really clearly laid out for her, or you can, or the other person, or both people, multiple people. And then again, hopefully this will shift the energy so you can have this ending and this new beginning. You can have abundance and growth and step into your power and manifest whatever it is you want to manifest. Okay? So that's what oh wait, I spoke too soon. We still have to do the last one. I was about to be like, that is all I have for you regarding the tarot, but just kidding, you have one more card. When the Four of Cups comes in here and is confirming the Eight of Cups, it's like, yes, somebody is going to need to take this break, or they already did, or they're still doing it, or they're about to do it, right, with the Eight of Cups right side up. And it's here like, okay, because again, they need to figure out their emotions and set those and ask those questions and have those boundaries or deal breakers, what have you. And also, it's patient. So when you're taking a break, you're being patient in some way, either with just your emotions or the other person's emotions or everyone's emotions. And hopefully, also, when you take a break, you get that new perspective and you are more patient for better circumstances, options to come in for you, and more enjoyable emotions in a more positive way. All right. So hopefully that makes some kind of sense to you and means something to you. So that is what I have for you regarding the tarot. But really quickly before you go, let's do your oracle cards. So your first one here is your love oracle message, whether you're watching for romantic love or platonic love with friends or family, or even all relationships, right? It could be a work partnership, love, if you want to call it that, even though it's not necessarily romantic, but it's a relationship. All relationships have some type of love in there. And also, it could be talking about self love, right? So, whether you're watching for one of those reasons or all those reasons, right? Your love oracle message for this time is calling in your soulmate. And you see this woman with her hands up, kind of up in prayer, and there's an angel behind her, and it says, your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. Okay. So your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help you bring you closer to your soulmate. Your soulmate could be your best friend, right? It could be a friend, a family member. It could be romantic, of course. It could be, again, yourself if you're working on self-love. So it's just kind of saying, keep those prayers, those visualizations, affirmations up, and make it really clear about what you want, and then it will come back to you even faster, right? Okay, and then your second oracle card is your Remy or Rumi, depending on how you pronounce it, oracle card from Elena Fairchild. Okay, so Remy or Rumi was a 13th century poet, Persian poet. So she's taken some of his poetry and put it together with these beautiful oracle cards. So anyway, your card is card number 13, and it is Arise. Okay, so you see someone here kind of looking like down on the dumps, and then some type of angel figure over here. All right. So let me go ahead and read this to you real quickly. We'll do the poem. I'm not going to read everything. I will do the poem, and then at the end, there's like a 3-sentence kind of meditation you can do to get into this energy of the message of this card, okay? All right, so here we go. It says arise, right? So wings of hope languish from lack to use, from lack of use. Sorry. Wings of hope languish from lack of use. When wings dissipate and weaken, life begins to lose its value. Every cell in your body is created to rise to challenges. Your life is meant to confront everything that holds you captive. Don't sit at the bottom of the well, not caring about salvation. Listen to the voice within calling to you. Reach for eminence beyond your own maturity. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, sorry. Okay. My allergies. All right. I dance before you in sacred spectacle, hoping to garden your attention. Look at me, I cry to your ailing spirit and despondent flesh. Look at me. If you were to look up, you would see I'm a mirror of your own being, your light, your heart, your spirit, your all. Yes, there is pain. Yes, there is letting go taking place, and you are frightened and uncertain sometimes. But you make this mean something that it does not. It means that you are to turn your head away from what is dying. Do this gently but firmly. Turn your head towards what is living. Look at me, I will show you the truth, and you shall laugh. Your deepest belly laughter with so much glee, sharing in my secret that the only force at work in your life is unconditionally loving divinity. All right, that's beautiful. So yeah, we kind of talked about some of those things about letting things go from the past or emotions that no longer work, perhaps, or a viewpoint, right, with the judgment in the reverse position, deciding maybe not to resurrect something that doesn't resonate with you anymore or is not where you see yourself going or what have you, okay? Anyway, let's see what the little meditation here says. It says, stand up and turn behind you, okay, and say aloud, with gratitude and deep soul daring, I choose to say thank you and goodbye to my past. What has been, and is no longer to be. I am at peace with this, for what has been is nothing more than the fertilizer for life to flourish now. With complete forgiveness and acceptance, I allow this letting go to happen. With all of my heart, I ask for unconditional love to assist me in this sacred surrender now. That's beautiful. And now it's how to face forward and say aloud, I invite in life, I invite in love, I invite in what is required for my own spiritual success and thriving divinity. Through unconditional love and divine mercy, through the guiding spirit of my soul brother, Rumi or Remy, may this now be so. All right. And then it says, now place one hand on your heart and say aloud, this is a lot, but that's okay. Almost done. Um, in this present moment, life thrives. It is within this thriving grace that I choose to place my consciousness now. I am an angel ablaze. I trust in the oh my God, I trust in the I can't say this word right now. I know how to say it, but I trust in the the I'll just say omnipresent because that's what it means. Because I can't say this word. I'm struggling right now. I trust in the benevolent, omnipresent divinity guiding my way. Okay, let me say that last part again because I messed it up. I am an angel ablaze. I trust in the omnipresent divinity guiding my way. And then it says, place both hands in prayer, and when you're ready, simply bow your head for a moment. You have finished your honoring ritual meditation. All right. So you can look up more into this card if you want to. Just look up the Rumi or Remy Oracle by Elena Fairchild and type in card number 13, Arise. And if it's available online, you can look even more into what is written in the book that I didn't read. Anyway, that is your reading. Thank you guys so much as always for your views, for your likes, for your energy. Really appreciate it. And when you video, it helps me know not only that you resonate with it and liked the video, it also tells YouTube to share it with others. And if you share it with others on your own, I really appreciate that too, of course. And if you want to subscribe and you haven't yet, it's free. All those things are free, right? So all you have to do is click on the bell icon in the bottom right and make sure it's blue and it's active, and it'll just notify you when I put out new videos. All right, so like I said, I'm going to take a little bit of a break and do the astrology notes coming up for this new set of readings. And then right after that, I will be doing your new video here, Aries, starting with you this time for the new set of readings. So anyway, you guys take care, and I will see you later. All right, bye.